You're listening to UTS, the official podcast of Cheltenham Saracens RFC.
We're walking along, we're singing a song, we're walking in the Sarries Wonderland.
Hey guys, come on in, sit yourselves down and get comfortable. Once again, we're in the sauna studio and you're watching the breakdown for the UTS podcast. I'm Dan Lodge.
Moxy.
And you're listening to the predictions show for the Six Nations. Both myself and Moxy will give predictions for the upcoming round of the Six Nations. In this case, it's going to be for round 5, the final round. And we get points based on how accurate we are with our predictions. If either of us can predict the exact score, then we get ourselves 5 points. If we can't do that, if we're a little bit off target, but we can predict the correct winning margin, we get ourselves 3 points. And as a bit of a running theme so far on this show, if we're not accurate enough at all, but we can predict the winning side, we get ourselves just 1 solitary point. So we're going to take a look quickly at round 4, the previous round this past weekend just gone. Starting with Ireland versus Scotland in Dublin. Ireland coming away with a 20-point win, a 28-8. I expected more from Scotland.
I mean, I actually watched these games this week. Yeah.
First for everything, folks.
That's why it all went horribly wrong, I think. One thing I did notice about Scotland was they were trying to be expansive. They were little flicks, offloads, at the back door. They actually looked half decent.
They looked threatening. There were so many times, especially in the second half, where they were running really, really good, like attacks down the wings, down the wide channels. And I think Kinghorn about 3 times knocked on into touch when, had he handled it well,
I mean, was that, yeah,
it would have been a chance. You could see the overlap and you think, if they make the pass, luckily enough, from an Ireland point of view, they didn't.
Yeah.
But there were opportunities there for Scotland. The door was open on the wide.
I mean, look at it, and also they butchered 2, more than 2-on-1s.
Yeah.
They were chances that I would expect, not only our under 15s but under 10s to complete those. 2-on-1. All you got to do is draw the man and pass it. Simple as that.
One thing that really did catch my attention was we saw in the first half, around about the 35-minute mark, Cian Healy took 2 really quite nasty-looking shots to the head. The doctor came on, the physio came on and was actually attending to him, and he ended up actually carrying on with the play, and at no point was it picked up by Wayne Barnes or the video referee.
Why wasn't that brought up? It's daft. To take 1 is obviously unfortunate, and you've got to look at him, but to take 2 and nothing done about it, that's the question got to be asked, I think.
Well, if any of you actually do get to have a look at the footage of him, kind of in the state that he was, it's quite shocking, really. He looks physically out of it. He looks like he's on autopilot.
I don't understand it. I don't get it. I can't explain it.
Well, we'll try to avoid controversy on that, and we'll just leave that there for you to form your own opinions. I thought it was going to be a lot closer than it was. You came quite close. I think a couple of penalties for Scotland, and you'd have been laughing there.
28-8 I went for, but don't know.
Thank you, Greg Laidlaw, for refusing to kick the posts.
Yeah, cheers, Greg.
An Ireland win was predicted by both of us, so we each get ourselves a point. France versus England. We go back to this as the same reaction to Scotland versus England. I have no idea what to say.
England knew what they had to do when they went into this game.
Yeah.
They knew they had to get a try bonus point. So why not actually try and score some tries?
I don't understand it. Like, if that was me, and we talked about this before filming, if that was down at the Sarries or if that was down at the under-15s, I would have said every penalty we get, we kick to touch. I don't care whether we score 4 tries or 40, as long as we pick up that bonus point win. That's the bottom line in order to stay in touch with Ireland. That's what we need.
The thing is, you almost want to go out and blitz it from the start. Go out, try and score the tries early, take the pressure off yourself.
Yeah.
Take the pressure off.
When it was actually being played live, I listened to the radio commentary on 5 Live, and Matt Dawson stuck the boot in at every opportunity.
Looking at the game and the games that we've played, he's got a case. You know, England just haven't looked like the England we want to see. They've been lacklustre. They've not, no penetration. They're not beating the gain line. They're not getting out. There's just too much lateral movement. The ball's not going forwards. Again, as well. I mean, looking slightly further afield, teams like Scotland and Ireland, excuse me, they look like they're gaining momentum, progressing towards next year's World Cup.
Yeah.
England going backwards.
It's not a good sign.
No, I feel, I don't know what I feel. It's not great. There's no time to rebuild now.
This is the time you want to be getting things right. You want to be hitting the good form. Okay, you might lose one or two players, injuries or possible retirements and that kind of thing, but
again, it goes back to
the bulk of your squad you want there, and you want them on form. And the last couple of games, I mean, Matt Dawson during the commentary on 5 Live said they looked lost. That was his actual words. They looked lost.
I thought that.
And it's astonishing. Like, this is not at all anywhere near the England side we have come to expect.
And considering France they're rebuilding, and they've been poor throughout this whole tournament.
Yeah,
they've been poor, and I know they're gonna up it for England, but I don't know if England made them look better than they were, or whether they actually genuinely were having a great day. But,
I mean, to put it into context, going into the game the past weekend, I think France were ranked lower than Fiji.
Considering very, very recently, England were second in the world.
Exactly, yeah. Now overtaken by Ireland, just in time for St. Patrick's Day, I might add.
Oh, for goodness sake. But Eddie Jones did say that he picked players on form. He's not doing that. He's reverting to type, and he's still picking players that have played for England before. So it's almost a safety net where he knows that they can do it, so he's going to drag them in. But they're not doing it.
Obviously, something needs to change. I just don't know where the change is going to come from.
It's got to change quickly.
We spoke about it at the time where we said, with France's form being so bad, there's a chance that they might actually spring a surprise on people. And an actual quote from you was that they always seem to click against England. And for some reason, we don't listen to ourselves. And as it was, we both predicted an England win, and we were completely wrong. So I guess nil point for both of us on that one. Anyway, looking at the final game of round 4. Wales versus Italy. Wales picking up a 38-14 win, a 24-point win.
The first, 10 minutes? Or loads of points scored. And then nothing.
Yeah.
Then it was just...
Bit of a.
It was just counting down the clock.
Bit of a strong start by Wales. To be fair, by Italy as well, because they did come back into it quite early on as well. But it was, from a neutral point of view, it was good to see teams winning penalties and not just opting to kick them, and just, when, to be fair, they didn't need to score tries. Like, I don't think either side was going to achieve anything by getting a win. Obviously, both sides will want to win, but
yeah, I mean, one thing,
there's nothing to play for. There's nothing on the line. It's just, let's just play rugby.
Rugby and have a go.
And they did, to be fair.
One thing that stands out for me was Parise. I thought I don't know what he did. He's usually, one of the best 8s in the tournament, but he was non-existent. He was bouncing off tackles. He wasn't carrying the ball, making mistakes.
Transparent.
Yeah.
But to be fair to Italy, actually, I will say they did, have put a lot of good play together, put on some really good attacking movements, just not enough of it.
But they've done that in every game. We've said that. That's been a running theme throughout this, all of our shows. It's been, Italy have turned up for sort of 10, 15, 20 minutes per game.
Yeah.
Not enough. That's why they're bottom of the league. Actually, on the Sunday, watching the Wales game, we had the discussion about promotion relegation.
Yeah. I think there's something for it. Brian Moore suggested maybe there is an argument for it.
I mean, teams like Georgia, they show in the World Cup that they can hold anyone.
Yeah, they're competitive.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And like Brian Moore said, it doesn't have to be every year there's a relegation, maybe a home and an away leg, that kind of thing. Maybe it can be every other year, which I think is a fair shout.
Yeah.
I think, have every, 2016, 2018, so every even year, basically. have a relegation playoff. Well, anyway, Italy's late fight back wasn't enough for them to pick up a win, which they so desperately need, and we did both predict a Wales win, and they duly delivered. Moxy gets a point. I get slightly more than that because I originally predicted a 34-10 and it ended up 38-14. 24 points. I've got myself a lovely 3 points out of that one. Well, with Italy's try on the 75th minute, let's take a quick look to see how that has altered the scoreboard between myself and Moxy. After round 3, the score stood at 7-6 in favour of Mark. And now as we add round 4's results and points, we can see it now stands in my favour 10-9. Not getting too confident at the minute though, there is still one more round to play. Following round 4 then, let's take a quick look at the Six Nations table to see how things stand. Ireland's win over Scotland sees them declared champions, top of the table with 19 points. Wales's win over Italy sees them move up into second on 11. England's loss to France drops them down to third. France sit in fourth, equal on points with England. Scotland find themselves in fifth with 8 points. Italy on bottom, 0 wins, 0 bonus points and 0 points. Anyway then, let's take a look at the fixtures in round 5. Tomorrow at 1:30, Italy play host to Scotland. I'm not entirely sure if it's the right way. I'm going with 26-17 in favour of Scotland.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see Italy winning, not even at home. Scotland have been brilliant throughout the year, and last year. This Six Nations, obviously, the game against England, they were awesome, brilliant. I just think they're going to be too strong for Italy. I think they'll bring that form back again, and they'll play Italy because they'll want to finish higher than England, and they'll want to finish as high as they can. I've got them down to win 32-19.
Gutsy. At 2:45, England will host Ireland. Again, we discussed Ireland's form. Ireland haven't won in London since 2010, the year that France won it. I'm in two minds because I think home advantage plays such a key role, but at the same time, the Grand Slam is on the table. I don't think Ireland are just going to roll over and concede it. I've gone with my heart over my head, which could inevitably cost me. Hopefully it doesn't. But I think it's going to be quite close. I've gone with England 20, Ireland 27.
Again, England home advantage. I think they've got to put the last 2 games behind them, and they've got to improve. They've got to improve.
The reaction is key.
Yeah. I mean, how many times have Ireland actually upset England's Grand Slam?
Oh, it's been a couple of times.
A couple of times. It's now time for England to do the same. It's England's time to ruin the party on St Patrick's Day. I mean, I remember the last time England played Ireland on St Patrick's Day. That didn't go too well for England.
Yeah.
But this time, it's going to be different. It is. Confidence. Not arrogance, but confidence this time. I think England are going to pull it out of the bag, and they're going to win 21-18.
At 5 p.m, Wales host France. Hard to tell which way this one's going to go. Obviously, France will be on a massive high, a massive boost after the win against England. But at the same time, home advantage, and we've rattled on this entire series how important home advantage is. And I think with Wales looking fairly confident against Italy, which I take with a pinch of salt because without disrespecting Italy, everybody looks comfortable against Italy.
Yeah.
I just think that'll be a good preparation for France, I think, because France haven't had a good year. I think their away form hasn't been great. Well, their overall form realistically hasn't been great.
No.
They're still very much in the rebuilding phase. I think it'll be close. I think Wales are going to come away with this one at 21 points to 17.
Wales at home advantage. Bang that drum again. I just think they're going to be far too strong for France. Again, they'll want to they want to finish above England. I've got them down to win this 26 points to 12.
So then, let's take a quick look at our predictions for the final round of the Six Nations. I've gone with Italy 17, Scotland 26, a 9-point margin there. England 20, Ireland 27, and Wales 21, France 17.
I've gone with Italy 19, Scotland 32, England 21, Ireland 18, Wales 26, France 12.
Well, that is it for the round 5 predictions. If you're a first-time viewer, make sure you go back and check out all of our other episodes. They're all completely free, and you can follow our progress through the competition and our thoughts on each nation and its wins or losses and its performances. And of course, if you're a huge fan of the series just like we are, make sure you go and give us a like, drop us a comment if you wish, and don't forget to become a subscriber. We also recommend you go and check out the UTS podcast if you haven't already. We have it up on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Cheltenham Saracens RFC. All of our episodes are completely free, and they come out on the first Friday of every single month, with an occasional bonus episode thrown in just for good measure. If you're not a SoundCloud user, you can find out the other kind of platforms that we use, including Player FM, Podbean, Podbay, Overcast FM, and iTunes. You can find out all of those links on our official website, utspodcast.com. You can also find out more about some of our guests. We have a list of all of our shows, including pictures of the guests, so if you don't recognise a name, or if there's a member from another club coming on the show, you might be able to recognise them from their picture, and that might hopefully encourage you to listen. You'll also find out a little bit more about some of our awesome sponsors, and a little bit about us as presenters. We're also on social media. Make sure you give us a like and a follow on Facebook and on Twitter, and our brand new Instagram account. All of those are .com/the UTS podcast.
We're going to be back next week, March 23rd, where one of us is going to be wearing a jersey that we really don't want to be wearing.
And it's not going to be me, I don't think.
That's why I brought these in, just so Dan can have a look and get used to it, I think.
Red cabbage. I can't wait. So Friday 23rd, we'll see you there.